share across lots of spaces. They don't necessarily make your space. They're not proprietary or unique to your space. And then another thing that I'm really fascinated on is building networks of local communities of making. This is a chart we started working on. Red is, you can't see it from the back, I'm sure, but these are museums, libraries, high schools, community centers, and then also in red or yellow and green are maker fairs, other mini maker fairs. But I have this idea that we really are trying to network local communities. There needs to be a maker fair. There needs to be maker spaces in libraries, in high schools, in science centers. We don't need just one. We need lots of. I was fascinated by your 50% of your membership is within a mile of this facility. That's exactly right. And think of that for kids. It has to be maybe a half mile. It has to be even closer and more proximate to where they are. But we see kind of the coasts have a lot, but it's pretty infrequent in the Midwest and other places. And this is working from a directory that we have on our site, but hackerspace.org has more of them. But I'm trying to really, it sort of goes to the next stage, trying to sort of get a survey of what's out there, who has the space. And I sent out a survey last Friday to a group, and I'm going to share some preliminary results. I really would like to do this like annually, is have a survey of maker spaces and collect data, so we can kind of look at what's happening and how many of them there are. So this only reflects about 35, and I said it's preliminary, but I'll go with some of these ideas, and I'd say half of the reason for presenting it, there's the train, is get your feedback. What should we be asking? What should we be looking at? So this is the average size of maker spaces. This is under 1,000, 1,000 to 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, and 14% are over 10,000 space. So somewhat kind of an even distribution there. This is about membership. Is membership required? 36%. Membership or daily usage fee required. No membership required, but donations appreciated. So kind of freemium or something like that. And then 13% is required for 24/7 access, so members who have a card. Again, I may not have asked it completely the right way, but I'm trying to figure out, how many have membership models or various things. This is the number of members in a makerspace. So 21% have less than 20 members, and 35% have 60 or more members. Okay, membership isn't always the same in all places, and they do fluctuate, but it does kind of give you an idea of some distribution there. I asked, are you a for-profit or non-profit? The bulk, 64%, are non-profits. About 17% are for-profits. And this is kind of interesting. This is 4%. It's just, we probably have a space, but we haven't put an organization together at all. And it sort of gets me, like one of the things that I find myself when I'm visiting maker spaces, and I'm sure it'll get talked about here a lot, is governance. It's like, how is this organization run? And if there's a board of directors, has that turned over? Do you have the same president you had since the beginning? Those are signs that there are multiple owners of that makerspace. The organization owns it, not just an individual. This is scheduling. The dark green is a variable schedule. It means we're open sometimes, not others. This is Monday through Saturday, but most are open 7 days a week. So something to look at there. And this is our classes required. I was trying to ask some information about safety. Like, do you require people to take a class in operating a dangerous piece of equipment or not? So 33% say no, but there's some that have some kind of aptitude test to tell whether you can do that or not. And then this is actually from a different survey that we did of sort of the makers I'm trying to figure out, we probably didn't use the right terms here, but we saw a difference between avocational or hobbyist makers and professional makers. That avocational makers are still working out of their garage by and large, or a spare room, or a kitchen in the dining room, or a basement. I mean, they're going to populate the house, and I would bet there are some people that use all 4 spaces. You know, that's the dirty room, the clean room, and such. But, you know, relatively small are identified, you know, just on a national level, using a designated or collaborative space. Whereas designated space, which could mean outside the house somewhere, is a top result for professional people. So people who, you know, are doing this for a living, what we call maker pros sometimes. So that's some of the survey results, and I'm just kind of throwing them out there. I'll put them up on our blog. You can see them. I don't know. They're just directional. They're not necessarily like fully representative. I don't want to get an argument so like, oh, you know, you're missing all these things. Yeah, of course. But I will try to, if you haven't filled out the survey, I can get the link to you to do that. Just one example. This is the Dallas Makerspace, which I visited last year, and there's about 80 members. And they had, you know, the usual features, but they had an automotive room, they had a craft room, they had a wet lab. But I tell you, the thing that inspires me in visiting spaces is really the new things that I see, the things that, you know, just really are very innovative, and things that I think, you know, an average university research lab would be happy to be doing. But I sometimes worry that nobody knows that this innovation is happening there, that it's done, you know, to satisfy your own interest, and you don't tell anybody about it. Another space that I'm proud to see develop is in Pittsburgh. It's called the Make Shop. It's at the Children's Pittsburgh Museum. And they're trying to engage families in making, and they have, you know, an open program for adults sometimes to sit down. And the interesting thing there is sometimes you're teaching adults that their kids actually enjoy doing this, and they can go home and replicate it and invite them to do that. Another project that I've been involved in is, my belief is that makerspaces are spreading everywhere, but the hardest place to get them is into schools. It's the hardest culture to change, and it's the hardest place to innovate. I had a DARPA grant to do making into high schools, and we worked with, we got to a group of pilot schools in the Bay Area in San Francisco, Lighthouse Community Charter. And, you know, I can't tell you, you know, as much as you think making is something that's wonderful to you, but to see kids that have never, they don't know what make is or Maker Faire, but to sit down and give them the opportunity in a setting to make something and learn how to do something and be let go enough to fail and try something. It's remarkable to see the transformation in their lives. And another fellow here, Casey Shea, raise your hand, Casey. You should talk to him. He's a teacher at Annalee High School, and we set up a makerspace in our office, and he brought about 30 students up last year we just called it Project Make. We just invite them to make stuff, and we'll get stuff in there. Casey's a math teacher, but he kind of knew that this is something that kids would enjoy. And what was really nice is after doing a year in our office, he was able to get the shop class